So this kid here, Leopold Asoibeno, lost about $35 billion in like 6 days. And I know he has been everywhere in the internet. Most people don't they confuse, say how 22 years old boy go lost such amount. Well, I'm here to explain what happened to his hedge fund and how he ran it. So it's going to be long, but just stick with me. He was 22 years old. He graduated at Princeton, and he was the valedictorian of his class at just 19 years. So you know, see the guy, the intelligent. The boy worked for FTX, that crypto exchange, but we know what happened. It crashed. He also got fired in OpenAI. Lord knows what he do. 2024, he wrote a manifesto, and he called it the situational awareness. Now, the thesis of that manifesto was that AI will achieve AGI by 2027 and super intelligent by 2030. And that manifesto contained about 165 pages, so you can see the guy really writes many things to convince people. But he wanted to use it to start his hedge fund, which he did that same 2024. And he called it situational awareness too. Then, as of 2024 too, he was able to raise, just from that manifesto, he was able to raise $225 million from Stripe and GitHub founders. Now, 2026, just 2 years after, that business don't already go like to about 1,000%, and they're up like 45 billion. They have it account under management. 45 billion, that's what it's worth. The $225 million, that's the investor investing in his hedge fund. He don't turn and go 45 billion, so you can see that that's very crazy. Then 2026 July, he sent a letter out. It's up 439%, just that year alone. That's from January to July. They are up 439%. And remember, this is just July that he sent that to his investors. Now, just 6 days after he sent this letter, they lost $35 billion. You can see, and now they now have $10 billion under management. That means they lost about 75% of the company. Now you go come ask, what happened? Look at this, that's what I had this year. You can see, how did they go from $225 million to 45 billion? So we want to know, before they lose it, let's know how they made it. How did they do it? He rely on Forex leverage. If you trade crypto, you could not say anything. So if he has $200 million, if you're on Forex leverage, that means you have $800 million to invest in the market. Now, that means it means borrow to amplify his bet on AI company. So he borrowed money to amplify his bet. Then what was his whole investment strategy? It was that AI will destroy software. So simply, he just long all AI companies and short the software. So software company way in short now, Workday, Adobe, Initiative, and Salesforce. Then company way in long, the AI company way in long. You know, AI is divided in different ways: the energy, the infrastructure, and the likes. So the energy, he long Bloom Energy. Then the infrastructure, these are the company he longed. So he was longed in all this company. Now he also invested $5 billion of that money to Anthropic. We will come back to this. Now he also invested in AI chips, but you know, AI chips, we have two different type of AI chips. You can see here, we have the GPUs and the HBM. Now you already knew that the GPUs, companies that are using the chips, logic chips, it short them. So the Nvidia, the Broadcom, and AMD, those companies short it. So you can see short logic chips and a long memory chips. That's the one that are using the HBM. These are the company, and he longed all this company. Now that's how he was able to turn that 225 million to 45 billion. Now, how the guy can lose 45 billion? How he take turn to 45 billion to 10 billion? How did he lose it? How did he lose just 75% of the company in like 6 days? What happened? You know that July 24th was the day he sent out that letter. You can see it. Now that same, just 2 days after, July 27, Citadel Securities. Please take note of this. Citadel Securities. These are market makers. That first will increase interest rates. So rate hike. So what happened? Investors got worried that the Federal Reserve will increase interest rate, which would make all the debt, the AI companies, like the company that have invested in, meaning that all the debt those AI companies don't incur, it could be expensive to pay. So what happened? They started selling little by little. All of them start to panic. So the gas continue to sell. Then as of July 30th, they got margin call from too much of selling now. They got margin call. Then Citadel Hedge Fund. No, say Citadel Security, which is this, and Citadel Hedge Fund are two different things. This one is run by Ken Griffin. It's him that run it. This one, they have their own CEO too. So the security that put out that statement and the market makers, but the hedge fund was the one that buy his public equity book. Now, public equity book they buy, not his company. That means the stocks, all stocks that they own, they bought it. Citadel company, that's Ken Griffin, the hedge fund that bought it. And I think after he bought it, that was on the 30th that he bought it. the next day he made about 1.5 billion. Market came back to its senses. Nothing happened because Fed did not increase interest rate. Rate was just steady. So that means this was just Ken Griffin playing games. You need to know, say Citadel Security and Citadel Hedge Fund are two different things, but they stay for the same building. But the law or authorities states that they should not even communicate with each other because things can go on. But of course, that is the story for another day. Now, you guys note, say, 2 days later, he marries Anthropic CEO's chief of staff. He's back with a new 400 million private investment. That's about 1 week after. He came back, say he get 400 million, where he won't start new business again. Now, he still has his investment in Anthropic. That money where he invest there, still there. So the boy really no lose. He didn't lose his complaint, of course. And situational awareness is still up 80% this year. And that's still crazy for an hedge fund. Hedge fund makes like 20% to 30% at least, the best. So for him to be up 80%, the boy still did do fine. So if you enjoy things like this, just like, follow. You can also ask questions in the comment section if you have. But I'll be dropping videos like this day in, day out, so you guys can understand how the financial market works. Peace out.